As a little girl, I would watch my older sister ride her bike. And I wanted to ride a bike just like her. She didn't have to ride her tricycle anymore, and she didn't even have to use training wheels. So I was determined. I was gonna ride a big bike just like her. So I had this goal. And I tried a few times on my own, and I bit the dust and I ate it bad. So I got to thinking, you know what? If I wanna do this, I'm gonna have to ask for help. So I acquired 2 teachers. And the first is my older sister. And she tried so hard to help me. She told me how fast to pedal, how to steer, how to balance, how to brake, and she illustrated by riding around me. And I was convinced I couldn't do it because I fell the time I tried. But then my dad came into the picture and he said, honey, you gotta get on the bike. But you know what? I'm gonna hold you up until you can balance on your own. And I reluctantly climbed onto that bike and I rode down our dirt road with my dad's hand right on the back of the seat running behind me. And I felt safe. So I went even faster. And then I went faster and I yelled, I got it, Daddy. You can let go. And I learned in one day how to ride a big kid bike because I had a goal. But in addition to that goal, I had some teachers that understood the goal that I had and how to get me to achieve it. Learning to ride a bike and mentoring young leaders are very, very similar. Of course, one is much easier than the other, and I'll let you choose between which one you think. But you always got to begin with the end in mind. You've got to determine that goal with your mentee. But ultimately, it's to get them up on the bike and release them so that they can ride on their own. There are some principles that you see throughout Scripture that will allow you and I, as mentors, to be effective when training young leaders. And in this teaching, we're gonna address a couple of those today. And the first is that you've gotta paint a picture. This is vision. Proverbs tells us that without vision, people cast off restraint. And in Habakkuk 2:2, it says we need to write it plainly so that a runner can run with it. The picture is the goal. It's the vision. Pictures stick much longer than words, don't they? You may ask, what do you mean by painting a picture? So you and I have the job to help them to see the picture of who they have the potential to be in God's kingdom. What could they look like? And then in addition to that, we need to give them handles. Everyone possesses some measure of knowledge and truth. However, most people are hard-pressed to own it in such a way as to use it in their everyday life. Handles are something we can grab onto and we can steer our life with. And we give people handles when we summarize truths or principles in a user-friendly fashion so that they can wrap their arms around it. A good mentor can distill or crystallize truth so that the complex is made simple. Truth can be applied by discussing what it looks like in a real-life scenario. Don't just simply tell them leadership is influence, but begin to explain what it looks like. And how do they know they have it? How can they achieve it? These are 2 principles that allow us to start that journey as a mentor and be effective.